I have this thing I call it Freaky Friday in NCAA volleyball because it seems like Fridays everything just happens, right? It's just been I don't know what it is. Maybe because they've been off, and who knows?
Halloween.
Yeah, but Sunday, yesterday, we're doing this on Monday. You guys will be watching this on Tuesday. Holy shnikey. Was
Yeah.
that the craziest 2 out of 3 days ever? And just on
Yeah.
top of that, Purdue on both of those nights reverse sweeps
Yeah,
victories.
they now have the most reverse sweeps in program history, which is just insane. Yeah, I mean, this weekend was wild. I feel like every time I was opening my phone, I did the Nebraska-Wisconsin game on Friday, which was, I mean, it went as expected. But I was keeping up with all the other games and I was like, oh my God, I started pulling them up because I was like, I need to like keep track of these scores. It was mayhem.
Yeah, no, I remember us texting too during that game and going, "Are you keeping up with whatever?" Because I knew you were working. But like
Yeah.
Emily's often told us, she texts a lot during the games when she's
Oh yeah.
working. But
Oh yeah, people are
so
sending me like score updates and all that. And like, so before our game was Penn State, Michigan, and they gave them a 2.5 hour window. And normally like games don't get 2.5 hour windows, but they wanted to make sure that like nothing was going to go over for our game. And lo and behold, we ended up going like that game ended up going 10 minutes over, because Michigan ended up beating Penn State in five. And like, I just looking at the upsets from that day, and when it was just like everything was going down.
we still have plenty of time. It's early. You got to remember that this is a marathon. There's a lot of regular season volleyball that we played in the bigger conferences. Some of the smaller conferences are pretty close to wrapping up and getting ready for their conference tournaments and their automatic bids. Speaking of which, there are not going to be a lot of so-called bubble teams this year. In the smaller conferences, there are very few teams that if they lose their conference tournament, they're going to get an at-large bid.
Yeah.
Not a lot of that this year, less than I ever remember. But even with all this to go, can you buy with me on this that number one, what Keegan Cook has done as a coach at Minnesota this year, losing all those starters, and to currently be 17-6 and 7-5, and the
Yeah.
losses they have been such tough losses. Prime candidate for National Coach of the Year. I know he's not going to win it, but it may be the greatest coaching job he personally has ever done.
I think
Steve
like I totally agree. It's just crazy because, in for digital content for BTN, we always talk about coach of the year, da 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 da. Like there are so many people right now where I'm like, oh, they could win it. Oh, they could win it. Oh, they deserve it. There's so like even just in the Big Ten, like I think Steve Aird is in that conversation. Danny Busby Kelly should be. Obviously, Dave
I mean,
Shondell, we've
for
talked
me,
about.
right, for me, the front runners, at least out of the Big Ten, are Steve Aird at Indiana. I mean,
I agree. I think,
we're all just stunned at what they're doing, and they're playing fabulous volleyball.
and
And
they're all freshmen.
yeah, and then if Dave Shondell isn't the winner at Purdue this year, I'd be shocked. I mean, I'd go um, Shondell, Cook, Aird only because of what Cook has done. And I understand guys like who do the job that Keegan Cook has done and where they're going to finish. They don't win National Coach of the Year. In our
Yeah.
case, the Russ Rose 900 square feet National Coach of the Year award. But I mean, Mike Shaw at Indiana at North Carolina. Are you kidding me? You know,
Yeah, big win.
like you mentioned, Danny Busboom Kelly. No doubt she's coached well and her staff has done a good job. But on the other hand,
She was
it's
handed
it's not just
everything.
rolling the ball out. I understand that, but when you're talking about in comparison to the other people, but
Yeah.
Mike Shaw and then Keno at Miami, those two.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing that he did was, Fleury Heredia Cologne left the program, went to
Yeah.
Florida, enrolled, spent the semester, took advantage of that, and then went back.
Yeah.
And she's just, I mean, crazy. But I mean, those for me are the National Coach of the Year candidates. I'm probably not giving credit to some in Jesse Mahoney, a guy at Colorado whose program has, it always seems like for years, they take a step forward, they take two back. They take two
Yeah.
steps forward, they take three back, and never could get any traction. Colorado leads the Big 12 right now. And if I had told
Yeah.
you that before the season, Colorado made it into our, top 16, our
I
meet.
mean, the Big 12 has been the most up and down conference. There are so many teams, obviously it feels like it's Arizona State and kind of everyone else right now, just in terms of how good the team is and how I think it'll shape up. But then the teams actually play the freaking games and you just never know. Like Iowa State takes Arizona State down, TCU takes two losses. I mean, I am shocked every time I pull up that schedule and, the results and see what the heck happened.
Yeah, no, it's that's Craig Skinner's done a fabulously good job
Ooh,
at
Kentucky.
Kentucky,
They are so good right now.
and Jamie Morrison at Texas A&M. They've just gotten better and better.
I mean,
Um,
we got to talk about those two games. And I know last week we talked about this and we
about
said
the
it was
so,
reckoning week.
Holly McPeak sent me a text after Texas lost to Kentucky. Reckoning week for Texas, because remember I said, and I wrote back, they got reckoned. I reckon as an
Yeah,
old.
remember when I said they don't have a right side block and they're in trouble, and then Brooklyn DeLay and Eva Hudson go off for 38 kills, hitting 436. Crazy. I
Yeah.
think that, the Texas's issue right now, which we've talked about, I think one, they're very young, so they have a lot of freshmen up at the net, and their blocking is absolutely atrocious right now. They can't block on the right side or the left opposing left side. So their right side blockers, Kari Spears, freshman. Okay, fine, maybe she's not the best. Ella Swindle, big setter, but just can't necessarily figure it out over there. Texas's offense is so freaking good. They hammer balls. They're putting balls on left and right, but their defense can't stop anyone. I mean, you let a team hit 353 against you when you're doing well. Even in the A&M game, Texas hit above 300, but then you have Texas A&M also hitting above 300. So you're good offensively, you just can't figure out the defensive part.
Well, Emma Halter, the libero for Texas, I think is having her best year, but that
Well,
might be
the
because
backcourt is
there's no
great.
blocking in front of her, and she's having to
Yeah.
get so many balls.
I mean, the backcourt is phenomenal. You have Emma Halter, Ramsey Gary. I think Tori Stafford does an awesome job back there as well. They just can't figure out how to slow balls down.
Yeah, and blocking. I mean, you were a libero, but blocking is an art form for to some degree too. Sometimes they're just players who have this built-in radar and know where to go, how to go get there, when to go there. And as
Yeah.
a libero, you could certainly appreciate that for the people playing in front of you.
Yeah, and there's also the added factor of, you think about Texas's roster, they have a lot of really young players attacking. So when you come into the season, what's the most important thing? You want to get those offensive connections down. So typically blocking is kind of takes a fallback because you're constantly working on your offense, getting connections down and want those to be really good. And then blocking starts to come on through the season. I don't know if it's something, and it's interesting because I know that Jared has spent a lot of time on blocking with the team. It just feels like they're playing offenses that are just completely overpowering them to where they can't even learn how to do it up front.
Well, you mentioned earlier in the year that you thought Stanford was severely lacking as a blocking team, and must have gotten better. I mean, right
Yeah,
now, too, worth noting, Stanford and Pitt tied atop the ACC,
yeah,
and Louisville and North Carolina at 10-2. Let me say this about North Carolina. Granted, they played at home and lost in five to SMU, and then lost in five uh, yesterday to was Pitt. And
yeah,
North Carolina, I don't know what they're going to be like when they have to go on the road. They may get a top 16. I can see them possibly getting to play the first two rounds at home. But that's a really, really good gritty team that I wasn't expecting from. It is
yeah.
just fun to watch. They're just balling out. I love watching them play.
Yeah, I think
They're
it's
really
fun
good.
too to see this point in the season the teams that are starting to get the upsets because that means this team is peaking at the right time, which their coach has done a phenomenal job with. Yeah. I mean, they also played a very easy non-conference schedule, so that kind of helps you ease into it. But the way that they're playing right now, they look really good.
Yeah. Oh, there's a couple teams though that like Florida State, Georgia Tech, they're just grinding it, but they're still
Yeah.
over 500 in the league. The
Yeah.
ACC has one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 teams over 500. The Big 12, I think I counted, they have 8 teams over 500. Um, in the league play, I'm talking about one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and then the Big Ten has 9. Of course, the Big Ten has 300 members, and then the SEC. Again, we're going to have the same conversation, Emily, on Sunday night when they choose, and we're going to go, oh God, look how many teams they got in. And I watch them, and I can't decide if they're beating up on each other because they're good or because they're bad. And I'm
I
talking
think
about
they're good.
after Kentucky, Texas Tech, A&M. Look at Florida. Look at
Yeah.
Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia. They're all over 500, but they're riding a roller coaster every time. You never know what you're going to get from them.
I think the level of play for the SEC has gotten better, it feels like over the last few years, and every year they continue to get better. Having done more SEC matches than really ever before in my career, I feel like I've seen so many of these teams almost top to bottom in the SEC, and even the bottom teams, for example, like Arkansas, I've seen them play people really close. You look at a team like Oklahoma, who is like middle of the pack, they're a really good volleyball team, and I think they would do incredibly well in any other conference. I actually think the teams are just beating up on each other right now.
Right now, if you went strictly by RPI, they get in six. Texas, Kentucky, A&M, Tennessee, Florida, and Missouri. Missouri comes
Yeah.
in at 46. So, but I mean, this is a league that has gotten the most teams in each of the last 2 years. Um,
And I think the tough part for the SEC too is you have the tournament, and that's going to throw a wrench into things for especially some of the top teams. Like I would be, shocked to see either Texas, Kentucky. I'll throw A&M in there. I would be shocked to see none of those three teams winning it. But
right
you
now,
never know.
yeah. I mean, if we went strictly by RPI and we went right now, the Big Ten would get 3, 6, 9, 11, maybe 12. Even Washington is coming in at number
I
42 in
know.
the
A
RPI.
lot of teams.
And Washington is 5-7. Hey, your Cats are 5-7 too, but they're really having a respectable season, aren't they?
They are the most improved Power Four team that we've talked about. Yeah, no, it's fun. I was talking to Coach the other day, and I mean, they have their sights set on the tournament. I don't know if that's going to happen, but they sneak in two big wins in there, and I mean, they have a tough schedule toward the end of the year. But like, if they sneak in a win or two, I don't know.
Yeah. Creighton, I moved them up to 10 or 11, I think, in our poll this week. I don't know, where did they come out? I sent you the poll. What did I tell you?
Creighton,
Yeah, where do they come?
Creighton's at
11.
11th.
They're 11 in our poll. Crazy home 5-set win over Marquette. High fives to
Yeah,
Marquette for really bowing up and making um, uh, a match out of it. But now it's just cruise time into the Big East tournament
yeah,
for great.
yeah. Let's talk about our poll for a second. Texas dropped two spots, which I completely get. And how did you end up going one through four?
My personal one,
Yeah.
I went Nebraska. Yes, I voted Nebraska number one. It's pretty funny. People giving me a hard time about that.
He did it.
No, I mean they're just
There,
Terry Pettit
wait,
texted
wait.
after Texas lost. Now we have space. There's some distance. I was like, Terry, I didn't expect anybody to go undefeated in the regular season. If Nebraska
Lee,
goes undefeated in the regular,
Nebraska is so good. Like seeing them, I've seen them, I feel like every 2 weeks I've had them. They look, I mean, having done every top team, they look leaps and bounds so much better than everyone. Nothing hits the floor. And the difference this year is that Nebraska's had the top defense either in the Big Ten or the country for the last few seasons. They now are one of the most terminal offenses. And I mean, honestly, Bergen Riley is absolutely a player of the year pick for me. She would be a top four pick, I would say. She is so good. Even when the team is out of system in transition, she puts up a perfect ball. I, I, I do not see how Nebraska would take one loss before the tournament. I just don't see it.
well, and they play at home 4 times, in the tournament. I went Nebraska, Pitt, Kentucky, Texas, and I kept Arizona
Okay.
State at number five.
Yeah.
Why would I penalize Arizona State? Then I went Louisville
Yeah.
6, Purdue 7, Stanford 8. I had Creighton 9. And I also gave love at the bottom. I have Indiana 12, Colorado 13, Kansas I kept in. They dropped out. Iowa State 15. By the way, Iowa State is,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen them play, they play volleyball the way it's supposed to be played. That's a
Yeah.
you know that's a really super group. Creighton's 8 in the RPI. Xavier, have you watched them by chance?
No.
No. I mean, they're second in the Big East and 25 in the RPI. I have not watched them.
No. Yeah.
My,
I went back and forth on this for objectively way too long, but
I'm at
Nebraska,
the poll now, right?
talking about the poll, this is mine. Texas, or sorry, Nebraska, way above everyone else. Texas, Kentucky, Pitt. I went back and forth in the Texas Kentucky Pitt thing for a long time because Pitt beat Kentucky, Kentucky beat Texas. For me, resume wise, I like full body of work more than head to head. And there are situations where when the full body work is comparable, obviously you go with the head to head. But for me, putting Kentucky above Texas when, you look at the differences in their full body of work right now. I mean, Texas is 8-2 against RPI top 25 teams. Kentucky's 4-2. Texas has played a much harder schedule. They've won a lot more matches. I know they got swept at home. And I totally understand both ways.
Well, along the,
I couldn't do it.
along the same lines, how do you weight more recent matches more in your mind than the early season, like those ones from the very first weekend?
Yeah, that's the other part of it. Yeah. Theoretically.
Yeah. So the
But
poll
I don't
went,
know. I just to me it was like Texas overall, they have a lot like it wasn't even close in terms of big wins. But then, then you have Kentucky sweeping them. So I don't know. I get both ways. I just went with full body work.
yeah.
People aren't happy about it though, so make your own freaking poll.
And I got to tell you, our pollsters, man, tough circumstances. Like Shelby Coppage. Hey, Shelby, you sending your poll? Yes, I'm trapped in Houston airport hell right now.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
anybody's flying right now. This is, it's an adventure anyway. Go ahead and
Everyone's, yeah.
have a budget
Three
shutdown.
3 hour lines at Houston.
Oh gosh, and she's there. I hope it all works out. But for us, the way it came out was Nebraska, Kentucky, Pittsburgh, Texas, Stanford, and Louisville tied for fifth. A&M, Arizona State, SMU, Purdue. Purdue went from 9 to 10. What are you pollsters thinking? Oh wait, I
I
know.
don't know. I feel
Um,
like everyone else, there's just a lot of movement, which normally we don't have this much movement this late in the
no,
season,
no,
but I
this was
feel
the
like
craziest.
it's been wild.
Yeah, then it went Creighton, Wisconsin, which stayed at 12. One of the only two teams that, the only two teams that stayed the same in the poll were Pittsburgh at 3 and Wisconsin at 12. Then Indiana came in at 13. North Carolina came in at 14.
Mhm.
Miami stayed in at 15. So I take back another team that stayed. And
Yeah.
Colorado moved in at 22. Dropped
I
out
mean,
Kansas,
we keep,
USC. Okay.
I know we keep talking about it, but those 14, 15, 16 spots are just,
That
I
is,
mean, then, you got a team like, let's talk about Penn State for a minute. Two more losses last week. Indiana was to sweep at Happy Valley is so difficult, especially when you're a team that has literally never won in Happy Valley. I know we talked about the interview with Steve Aird was really cool to see just how emotional he was. But man, Penn State, Penn State's not looking good right now.
yeah, no, the, a couple of teams that I know, they're grinding. And gosh, I feel awful sorry for Ohio State. They just don't have the goods to compete this year. I think are they 0 and 12 now in the league? That's rough.
I don't know if they are, but they're not doing well.
No, yeah, 0 and 12. And Maryland's 1 and 11. Rutgers is not in last place at 2 and 10. So there you go. We should probably talk about games coming up this week.
Yeah.
Let me slide over here to the
Oh, yeah, we've got another good slate.
Florida State goes to Miami on Wednesday in the ACC, and Florida State's just been lurking, and they're always traditionally a team that this time of year screws things up. They're not as good as Miami. Miami's so hard to play at home.
It's at Miami.
Carolina goes to Stanford. Nice. I don't know if you had
Yep.
that on the list on Friday.
Yep.
Yep. Saturday,
It's
Miami
really
and
the
Florida
only
State
big ACC game.
pushing around, and then Sunday, what do we got? No
There aren't
more
a lot of
matches. Pardon?
not a lot of impactful ACC games this year, other than UNC Stanford, which I don't know. UNC's hot right now. We'll see how Stanford does. Is a UNC Stanford at Stanford or at UNC?
Yeah, at Stanford on yeah, no, they make the Stanford, North Carolina, I mean Cal trip,
Gotcha.
right? And for all those ACC teams, this is the first time they're doing that.
Yeah.
Um, Big 12, what do we got here? Colorado at Kansas on Thursday.
Yep.
Um, Utah at TCU. Boy, talk about an important match for two teams.
I mean,
TCU.
TCU is what?
TCU's
Dropped
lost
their
four in a row, right?
four in a row.
Yeah. Uh,
Yep.
BYU at Arizona State. That could be worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. And then Sunday, Utah at Baylor. This could be a reckoning week for Utah. Utah's dealt with
I feel
awful
like
lot of
it's
injuries.
every freaking week is reckoning week for the Big 12. It's been insane.
Sure. I'm looking here at
I
the
mean, do we think the Big 12 is going to get in the most teams?
oh, wow. Let's see. If you went with RPI right now, they'd get in Arizona State,
They'd get
TCU,
an eight or
Colorado,
nine.
BYU, Iowa State, Kansas, Baylor, K-State is at 41. And K-State's dangerous.
They'd get an eight. I mean, you have,
They get in six probably
oh
right
my
now.
God, right now the Big Ten has 12 teams in the top 42.
Right. Right. Yep.
Oh
And
my
you knew this was
God.
going to happen when we split the four conferences.
Yeah, I mean,
Went from five to
we've got
four.
18
So
teams in a conference.
what's in the Big Ten this week? I'm looking at the schedule. I got
I've got
oh,
Wisconsin,
Minnesota,
Minnesota,
Wisconsin.
I've got that one on Wednesday. Two teams. I mean, Minnesota's been playing hurt all year, but two teams that are kind of playing hurt. No idea when we're gonna get Furbringer back, says Kelly Sheffield. So I don't know. Maybe they'll get her back by December, but I wouldn't anticipate her coming back on Wednesday. But it's at Wisconsin, always a good environment. We'll see. I don't know. Border battle's always freaking fun. I mean, there's been some epic battles over the last few years. Last year they both went five and they both were like 18-16, like 16-14, fifth set. So you never know.
Illinois is the next team to get carnaged at Nebraska. Um, Iowa, Indiana. How do you explain Iowa winning at Illinois? Wow.
Because Illinois does this.
Yeah. Penn State, Purdue. Again, back to your previous point, who knows what you're going to get there?
Yeah.
Nebraska at Minnesota. Is that Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. That's a tough match, I would think. If ever Nebraska was going to have a tough time,
Lee, I'm telling you, they just honestly the only time I could see them slipping up, I believe they have their West Coast LA trip next week. And I'm only saying that because
right? That was the one I was going to go out there for a bunch of for that
yeah,
week, but I'm not.
I'm throwing that out there because just the travel's hard and they're probably going to be playing at like 10 p.m. Eastern. Again, I would be shocked if either UCLA or USC beat Nebraska, but
I
I
would
would
be
say
too.
that's probably their toughest challenge because their last one is Penn State at home on Black Friday, which I don't know is going to be much of a game.
USC is capable of pulling an upset. I don't know that
They'd
they're
have to
really
play
good at UCLA.
really
Yeah, Indiana goes to Wisconsin.
crazy, like potential hosting game
Yeah,
also.
yeah. USC at Washington is a really important game for both teams, but especially for Washington, which we talked about is living life on the edge.
Yeah.
What do we have in the SEC schedule? Let's see here. The SEC website is just so annoying to navigate. Come on, you can do it. Come on, SEC website, you can do it.
Kentucky, Mizzou on Thursday. Mizzou's been a sneaky team that's been kind of getting some good wins, hasn't lost a plethora of matches. They got a win over Tennessee last week, so
Plethora, plethora, good word.
thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, no, no. Oh, well, Texas goes to Florida.
Yeah.
Who knows what we're gonna, be interesting to see how Texas bounces back from this. They haven't had to come off a loss so much as two of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Vandy had a nice win. Good for Vandy. You know what a tough start this has been.
Yeah.
Tennessee goes to Kentucky.
Yep.
Uh,
Sunday?
yeah, on Sunday. Yeah. Oh, and yeah. So there you go. And like we mentioned, Creighton. There's a lot of really interesting and intriguing mid-major conference matches and races going on. There's a lot of conferences with two, three teams all within a game or tied for first place. And
Yeah.
you have to read the daily email, 900 square feet. And if you're not subscribed, the link is in the description of this YouTube video, so you can sign up. It's free. I work really hard at it, so please sign
He
up.
does.
I know.
And it's great. It catches you up every day.
Every
Tells you
time
what I missed.
every time Emily Eman goes on social media and tells people to sign up, lots of people do. So work your magic for me again this week.
I every week I do.
Yeah. Well, you have just the one match.
One match and then I'm off for 2 weeks.
Good for you. And you got a vacation plan. So we will see you
Vacation plan.
2 weeks from today. And maybe next Monday I may get someone else to come in your place. We'll
Yeah,
see.
do
Um,
it.
but um, this is always fun. Thank you everybody for watching. And anything I missed?
I think we're good.
Okay, good. All right, bye.